much gold these are worth. Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there on my TV. Well, how much gold would it be worth? That's the real question now, isn't it? Does Fort Knox have any gold? Trump thinks there might not be any. Let's take a look at that. So, the Daily Mail reports that Donald Trump and Elon Musk plan to visit Fort Knox. It's like the Associated Press has a few pictures of some of the gold there. The gold apparently has been there since 1941. Actually, I would take it back. The late 1930s. It had its highest volume of gold in 1941. Now, during World War II, a lot of nations sent their gold to America, particularly European nations, because obvious reasons. There was one country out there in Europe that just wanted everything. Gosh, the name escapes me. I'm sure I'll think of it eventually. Yeah. Currently, it holds 147 million ounces. Sorry, Daily Mail, you got an error here. Valued at a lot more than $186 billion. Probably closer to 500 to 600 billion in today's market value, depending on, what day of the week it is. As stable as gold is, it's not the most stable thing in the world. So, the theory is that there is no gold there, that we all spent it long ago. And it's a prominent theory, to the point where they've had congressmen go out in the 1970s. 1974 is when people went out, and then Mitch McConnell, of course, went there in 2017 and got to look at it. That just seems weird. One random senator just gets to go look. You know where Fort Knox is? It's in a literal fort. That's the building right here. This right here. That is the actual building that stores the gold. It's on a military base that's over 109,000 acres. Disney World isn't that big. In fact, Disney World is only 27,000 acres. This thing is 4 times bigger. That's a lot. I think it's weird they hold the value of gold here. If you look at the United States Mint here, you'll see that the gold is held at 42.22 per ounce, dollars per ounce. It's kind of weird, right? Why would you store it at book value and not keep track of its current value? Or just do an annual value. It's like, every year, at the end of the year, we take the current value of gold and go, well, this is what it's worth, and report to Congress. Instead, they report the book value. I don't know. Something fishy about that. Yeah, a little weird. Also, did not know there are other stores of gold. And a lot of them seem to be held at military institutions. Look at that. West Point has some. So basically, Trump wants to go take a look at it to prove that it's there. I think he should televise it. That would be the best thing to do. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You got the director of the Mint going there and looking at it in the 1970s. It's just weird that you don't get to go audit this. It's one of the largest stores of gold in the country, and no one gets to go say, okay, well, how much gold's there? How do you know if somebody's not stealing it? Audits are important. I mean, I know people hate Musk because he's auditing everybody, but it needs to be done. To the government, at least. Maybe not to us. Yeah. Do I think the gold's there? I think some gold's there. I think that most of it probably is gone. Long spent. That room that she's standing in, probably the only room that has gold. If that's even gold. I mean, you walk into a room that looks like that and they say, this is gold. How are you going to know the difference? Unless you physically pick up the gold bar, weigh it, or test the metal. Gold's very malleable, so you can almost bite it. That's why in the Old West you see, cowboys and, people bite gold coins. Yes, you really could bite pretty much and bend it. You won't be able to do that with a steel coin. Unless you're Jaws. Now, speaking of Jaws, let's take a look at this right here. This is James Bond's Goldfinger. And this is the scene where Goldfinger explains how he's going to rob Fort Knox.
You disappoint me, Goldfinger. You know Operation Grand Slam simply won't work. Incidentally, Delta 9 nerve gas is fatal.
You are unusually well informed, Mr. Bond.
You'll kill 60,000 people uselessly.
So, in the movie, Goldfinger is planning on going after Fort Knox's gold. And he has a plan. He's going to gas the people around it, walk right in. Now, it's on a military base. Like I said, one of the largest in the country. So you're surrounded by hundreds of thousands, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of soldiers. So you're not just going to walk in without doing something crazy. And in this case, maniacally and evil.
American motorists kill that many every 2 years.
Yes, well, I've worked out a few statistics of my own. $15 billion in gold bullion.
$15 billion back in the 1960s. Gosh, it's hundreds of billion now.
Weighs 10,500 tons. 60 men would take 12 days to load it onto 200 trucks. Now, at the most, you're going to have 2 hours before the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines move in and make you put it back.
Who mentioned anything about removing it?
So that's one of the benefits of having so much. It's very difficult to take all of it. But also, one of the main reasons you should audit it. There's a lot of it. You can't just assume it's all there. All it takes is one employee to go, yeah, I checked it. Yeah, what's in your pant leg? Nothing, don't worry about it. That's sexual harassment. You can't look at that.
The julep tart enough for you?
You plan to break into the world's largest bank, but not to steal anything. Why?
Go on, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Ling, the red Chinese agent at the factory, he's a specialist in nuclear fission. But of course, his government's given you a bomb.
I prefer to call it an atomic device. It's small, but particularly dirty.
Cobalt and iodine?
Precisely.
Well, if you explode it in Fort Knox, the entire gold supply of the United States will be radioactive for 57 years.
58 to be exact.
I apologize, Goldfinger.
So, the plan here with Goldfinger is not to even steal any of it. It's to affect the market price of gold, which James Bond eventually will explain next, but I'm not going to bother to show you the rest of that. But by irradiating all the gold, it makes it worthless. No one's willing to buy it. It's as if the gold doesn't exist. And that's kind of what we assume here. We assume that the gold is there, but it might as well not even exist because we never get to actually verify that it's there. And in that way, it's like phantom money. But then again, isn't all money phantom money? A dollar is only worth what we say it's worth. Perhaps the gold in Fort Knox is only worth what we think it's worth. The idea of it being there is all that really matters. Maybe Trump shouldn't go visit it. Ignorance is bliss.